listeners, and welcome to episode 464 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for August 3rd, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Man, it's been a crazy week, man. It's been a week of quite a few things, big things happening this week, man. Let's just get we can just hurry up and get right into it.
Yeah.
We'll start with sports. My Orioles haven't been doing that well, man. They already lost. As of right now, they lost 2 of the 4 games that they got to play in the series. They still got 2 more games left against the Cleveland Guardians, who was the number 1 team in the American League. And so Orioles lost the first 2. I'm hoping they can come back and win the next 2, at least tie it up. They made some moves in the trade deadline. We'll see how those moves go as the season go on. Yeah, man, it's just been a lot of bad luck, man, for the O's, man. Just like sometimes the offense is just like they look great against the Blue Jays. They did win 3 out of those 4 games, but these last couple games, man, the pitching, the Cleveland Guardians offense, man, has been kicking our butts, and the pitching has been doing pretty good for them, the Cleveland. So hopefully the O's can get something going. I know Olympics been happening. And last time I checked, I think U.S. had the most medals. I'm not sure if that's still the case. It usually seems like it always happen that way. Yeah. Are they? But how about goal? I know they're behind in goal last time I saw. But what are they?
When I saw last time.
Oh, and actual goal, but in tournament they seem to have it. But see, in that case, some countries they don't even do all the events. While the U.S. it's almost like I think U.S. might be. I want to know what event is the U.S. not in. Man, that's probably the easiest thing to look at. It's like what is the U.S. not in?
Most participated events, USA.
Yeah, exactly. So having most medals. I understand, but it's also like if you're in everything, not all countries are.
I don't appreciate how Australia's really shown up this year. Apparently, they got 12 gold medals, 7 silver, and 5 bronze.
Oh,
they're number 2 in gold right now, behind China.
Yeah, the Chinese. I know Australia. They're coming up big. Well, the events I saw that 3-on-3 basketball, like you were saying. I saw the U.S. lose, so then I was like, oh man.
So then you turned on the rail basketball where they were just dominating people.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's
made me feel better about myself.
I was like, oh, so I don't know how they choose these guys. Like, I don't know how the 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah, I don't know, because those weren't NBA players, right?
No. They were like this. If they were, Daniel, I don't know them at all. I don't know who these guys are at all. And I'm trying to think, like, for those other teams, like, are they from those other countries? Do they play professional for those other countries? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's like a different rule set because it's only 3-on-3, half court, things of that nature. It's kind of cool. They play outside because one time they had to stop play because it was raining.
It'd be a lot cooler if they had the AM1 mixtape guys, though. That's all I'm saying. Get hot sauce in there. The professor.
So, it's cool that they have that in there. I'll check that out.
I'm still just waiting for breaking, Dominic. I want to see the breaking finals.
I can't. No, it's just that shouldn't. It's like 40 years too late for me. It's like, look, man, It's like you're gonna have it down when it's already kind of old fad because then the countries that these people are really good in. Y'all like 20 years late on things, on trends.
I really just want to see the participate. Who's participating? Is it just going to be America versus America?
No.
Where is Breaking Big at right now?
No. It's the foreign countries.
Is it? Is that where it's big?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the only reason why I think it's in the event.
I mean, that makes sense, but
Yeah. I like
still,
yeah, because I think people were talking about I don't know, one of those Asian places.
Okay.
I know that they had it, and like I said, like it's like yeah, that makes sense because they usually are pretty. Like when I see the trends and stuff over there, I say, oh yeah, that's something that was pretty big in the '70s. But I was joking. But anyway, but yeah, but like someone said when I was reading the comments or something like having more sports with that's based off judging. It's like, yeah, I don't because it's all. I don't know. I mean, they have their rules, you know. They have their rules like, hey, you do well and stuff. But it's just that, like, I can't tell who's a clear winner is unless they physically messed up.
Yeah,
like in gymnastics, unless you trip and you don't do it, I don't know.
Everything's a perfect 10 unless you fall over.
Yeah, exactly. So, and just like with ice skating and stuff in the Winter Olympics and things of that nature, yeah, I said like, hey, if they don't fall on that freaking ice, then I'm thinking like, hey, they're all right.
Nope, her leg was a little like, wobbly and cocked to the left
Disney
a little
on
bit.
Ice. Like with Disney on Ice when they did the performance, they're like, those must be perfect 10s all the time then. Because I've never seen nobody fall. Anyway, oh, darn, scratch myself. But yeah, because I want something with a clear winner. Like, I wish there was events with like, hey, these are the points, and that's a clear winner. And I know, like, well, see, I'm happy that skateboarding is finally in there, even though it is a judging sport. But that's something that is like, man, it was probably like it's been too long. It should have been in there.
It's been popular for long enough.
Yeah.
It's a sustained popularity for long enough that it
it should be in there exactly. That BMX and all that stuff. Like, I feel like those things should be in there. But like, I think anything with dancing, I think at this point, what we have is what it is. Because I almost feel like, come on, man, just have a dance competition then. Like don't come on, don't make that Olympic sport. Yeah, so I guess track and field is about to be coming up soon because it's a new week. Because I guess I'll see some of those, and I do like how Peacock has it where you can just watch Pacific events and things of that nature.
And the highlights of
that's
those
really
events
cool.
And
It's really cool that they let you that we got to the point now we can do that. So that's cool. And I think I watched men's gymnastics more than I ever watched it in my whole life this year. Because I'd never watched it before, but the U.S. was actually pretty good because I got third place. I saw that, and I was like, that's real nice. And then I also learned, like, okay, so because I was wondering, I was like, hey, do they do that dance floor thing like the women do? And I don't think they do.
They just do more manly things like push-ups.
I was like, it's like, oh, they don't do the dancing. Okay.
No rhythmic gymnastics for the men, though, that I'm aware of.
All right. What else has been happening? I know football stuff. I know training camp stuff been going on, but I don't usually pay attention to that stuff. I mean, if you know, listen to the podcast, I usually I'm waiting for the season, or just want to hear if injuries are happening or anything, or if anybody's having any felony problems where they won't be able to play during the season. So that's basically what I'll just be listening out for. All right. So any wrestling news?
SummerSlam is actually today, as of recording this. It's going to be in Cleveland, actually.
Sunday. What's happening tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow that day?
Nothing. I don't think they're doing a NXT event. And it's weird because it's also in Peacock, so they're going to be competing with the Olympics. Not that the Olympics is a while, so it would be hard for them to not compete with the Olympics.
Exactly. It's not just a one-day event, so it's not really... Yeah, so even if you're a fan of Olympics and you like wrestling, it's like now, especially in today's time, like you can just go, look,
yeah. But WWE has actually been doing a good job of making their bigger events on Saturdays recently, which is something I appreciated about early AEW, and then something changed there. Well, obviously now they also have the Saturday show that they have. But yeah, it's nice because then I don't have to worry about staying up too late and then having to go work the next day.
That's true. Yeah.
Also in the coming years, they're going to be doing a 2-day SummerSlam like they've been doing with WrestleMania. So I think, part of that is they're doing that too, kind of as a setup to that. But they are in Cleveland, which I saw a post on Squared Circle, the Reddit, the subreddit for wrestling earlier, talking about, if you're going to SummerSlam, it's going to be busy downtown because the Orioles are going to be in town and they're the number one. And, and a lot of that thread was just talking about like the Guardians and the Orioles. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is that I think a lot of people expect Roman Reigns to come back. As of last night's SmackDown, the match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa for the world title, or the WWE title, I guess it actually is a Bloodline rules match, which means no disqualification, basically. So that could mean that Roman comes back and gets involved during the match. I also think that could mean that The Rock could come back and get involved in that match. I don't know if that'll happen, where he's at filming movies or recording Moana 2 voice lines or whatever, but I would not be entirely surprised if that was the case. Yeah, otherwise you got the Damian Priest versus Gunther. I think there's a good chance Gunther's coming out of that winning the world title. And then the kind of the biggest match on the card is Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. And Seth Rollins is actually going to be the guest referee for that. So that is going to be a very interesting match. I wonder how those guys match up, and it's going to be interesting to see if CM Punk can make it through a match without getting injured, because that basically has not happened since. I mean, that's exaggerating. He's had matches where he has not been injured, but there have been large swaths of time that he has been injured since he has returned to AEW a couple of years ago. So he definitely seems out of ring shape, basically. His body's not holding up quite as well. There's that. There's also in AEW, Bryan Danielson won the Owen Hart tournament, which they do every year. And this year, if you won that, you also got a championship match at All In, which is their big Wembley show. And that's coming up, I think, at the end of this month. And he said on Dynamite this past week that if he does not win the title, he will never wrestle again. Now, in most circumstances, that would basically guarantee that he is going to win the title. And I think in this circumstance, there's a good chance of that as well. But it is Bryan Danielson, and I would not be entirely surprised if he's like, look, if I have to stop wrestling due to some level of, bodily harm to myself, because he had previously had to retire due to some neck and nerve issues. If he kind of wants to go out on his own terms and make it kind of a finality thing. And I think that would be quite interesting to see if he made his last match putting over Swerve over on basically the grandest stage there is for AEW. That's kind of their WrestleMania equivalent at this point, because they aren't really running any shows in a stadium quite the size as Wembley. They do Arthur Ashe for Grand Slam up in New York, and they do their All Out shows, and then Double or Nothing, which they do in Vegas typically, but none of those are competing, with like a Wembley sized stadium or like a WrestleMania sized football stadium situation that the WWE would be putting on. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with wrestling right now. It should be interesting to see what goes on tonight.
All right, cool, man. All right, so let's get to what we've been watching.
Yeah.
So, I have not watched the House of Dragons.
Okay.
The recent one.
We can pause on that because next week is the finale anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'll just watch both of them together. Mm-hmm. I heard there was a leak, but I think it's just like on TikTok showing clips or something like that.
Oh, wow, really? I know, was it last week's? No, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I had seen basically an entire summation of what happened in the episode on Reddit a couple of days before actually seeing it. So I know that stuff's out there. I'm a little more surprised that the actual footage is out there, But I guess some of these places are getting like screeners and whatnot, especially some of these like bigger name podcasts that are tied to this show,
Yeah.
So
I did check out about 3 episodes of the new Batman Cape Crusader animated series, which is on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all right. It's supposed to pay like homage to the the anime series Batman from the 90s, and it does have that look. But they changed some things. It's very progressive. As like the Penguin is now a woman, and the Commissioner is black, and Barbara is black also with red hair.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Oswald, I felt like they could have maybe been a little more creative there. I mean,
with who?
Oswalda, like that's what they call it.
Oh, Oswald.
Instead
okay.
of Oswald Cobblepot, she is Oswalda Cobblepot. But I guess you don't want to just like completely change her name, but yeah. No. That out of everything seemed kind of silly because the like straight gender swap of it all. I never thought about like a defining characteristic of the Penguin as being like male. Like his backstory doesn't, like rely upon him being a man or a woman. So like that, it didn't bother me too much there. But as far as like just trying to sort of shoehorn it in, it's like you could have maybe done something with that name.
Yeah. But it was interesting how she had sons, but a spoiler alert, she just kills them.
Yes, she does.
So because first I was just thinking like maybe they're her goons and they just call her mom.
Yeah.
But it didn't appear that way, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking too. Because the one is like blonde, and I was like, "Okay, maybe she, because he's the first one that she kills." And I was like, "Okay, so maybe it isn't like a mother son thing, because you wouldn't just kill your kid like that." And then she's like, "Nope, I'm killing him."
But also the kid. I mean, I guess if there was like really good sons anyway, they wouldn't just be going behind our back like that.
Exactly.
Like
raise them poorly, Dominic.
Yeah, go around her back to hurt her. It's one thing you go around the back where you're trying to help. You feel like you're helping. Like you see that in storylines with like with people with the bad guy stuff. It's like, hey, she says I don't want to do this, but say no, but it's to help the company and something like blah blah blah, help us. But yeah, so that's why I really thought they weren't really her sons. I was like, wow, that's okay. So whatever, that's the kind of relationship. Hell, she probably killed the husband or the father whatever.
Probably he was probably one of those chests at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, that was a lot of chests, weren't there?
That's a lot of chests. At some point, it's got to be suspicious just the amount of chests that she's buying.
Exactly. It's like, come on, man. I was like, dude, that's a freaking that's a massive graveyard, man. That's like freaking war. Like people in that
was a mass
graveyard.
grave. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, that's like a memorial. That's like how many people dead under there compared to like the memorial where like soldiers die and shit. They're like, this is crazy.
It's like, why is the water level rising here? This is weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it'd be like those fish, man. Like those fish are just relied on people. Like they don't. That's their ecosystem. Like they just eat that. They that's their food source. It's like, hey, say we eat people. Like we eat dead people. Say we need more dead people down here.
They've
it's
all evolved into piranhas somehow.
All right. But overall the show, it's they did some changes to that, but it still has the look of like the old anime series. I know there was a Clayface episode, and there was also a Selena Kyle / Catwoman episode. Like they made her almost like she's kind of a spoiled brat. Like she came from a family of money, but the money's all gone, and now she became a thief. And basically, it was. I mean, it was all right. Like the series is all right to me so far. I only watched like 3 episodes, and I mean, I enjoy it. Oh, they also made whatchamacallit, Alfred fat. Yeah, that's another progressive thing, Daniel. Okay. He's a person of size, but
and Batman's ears are skinny.
Yeah,
diversity.
But yeah, so it's like it kind of takes place Batman in his career because people still don't believe he's real or they had never seen him before. He hasn't even like really talked to the Commissioner Gordon or anything. He hasn't really talked to much of anybody yet. But I know he likes Montoya. I mean, because he was trying to see if she was like legit, like a good cop or not, and he realized that she is. So yeah, he still trying to feel like the police station, like, cause who's under, like who's the bad cops and things like that. Like, cause like whatchamacallit, not Harvey. Well, Harvey's in there too, but he's not Two-Face. He's the district attorney.
Yeah.
Running for mayor. I'm trying to think. What's the cop name?
I can't think of it, but I know you're talking about the bigger guy. That's kind of always
like
the
they
bad
make
cop.
him like because in the anime series, like he was an ass, but he was still actually a decent cop.
Yeah.
Like this, he's definitely been bought. like he's a bad cop. Like I remember, like it was with the first episode where she was about to blow up the police station, and he was running. Get out of my way!
Yeah.
And he left that person cuffed to the death. He was like, oh man, yeah. So I like it. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. It's not no X-Men 97, which I'm about to get into. Because I actually did finish watching it. I'm probably gonna watch the last 2 episodes again because I did miss quite a bit because I was cooking while I was on. But I got the gist of what was happening. Overall, that was great. I think that was a great series. Like it really felt more mature. Even though I think the original series, if you go back, it's kind of mature like too. I think in the 90s, I think television was
people were tougher in the 90s.
They were giving a lot of credit to it was a big change from the 80s cartoons to 90s, and that they if you look at some of those cartoons in the 90s, they were pretty adults could watch them. Like I feel like adults could watch them. Like they were pretty good, well written stories that as a kid, I appreciate as a kid just because it's Batman or it's X-Men and things. But as an adult, you also see it's not like a kid's show. It's not like watching Transformers or something like where it's like, hey, I'm just advertising the toys here. You know, we got some, and they got like G.I. Joe where they got simple ass storylines. You know, that they actually make general storylines. They can make character and stuff like that. Like looking back at the Batman anime series, I'm like, damn, I actually watched this show. It's like. This is pretty damn good television, and for like a kid's show, it seems kind of almost too deep. But credit to that, like, look, I think they were trying to take a chance because you talk about going for some show like that from the 80s for like early Ninja Turtles. You had that He-Man, like I said, Transformers, G.I. Joe, you like got shows like that. Compare that writing to like Batman or X-Men or even Spider-Man. It's like, man, it's like they really took some chances. They really said like, you know what, maybe we don't need to kitty it up all the way. Like maybe these kids ain't just totally stupid. But we can actually have some decent storylines here and things of that nature. Though they still was at the point where like I know, but Batman got away with it. Batman got away with not using guns for lasers. Like they were still doing that with Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah.
But Batman, they had real guns because it was like, yo, this is the 50s, man. They ain't got no fucking lasers. They ain't got no like people are not shooting lasers here. You know?
Was it was the original animated series supposed to have taken place in Because like I was thinking back to it, watching the Cape Crusader and like seeing all the mobsters in, you know, full suits and long jackets. And I'm like, they were dressed the same way in the original series. Was that to just, they think mobsters still dress like that in the 90s or?
No, that was, what are you talking about? That took place in the 50s too.
See, that's I never realized that, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That took place. That was old. Yeah, because they had black and white TVs, and they had stories on radios. Like shows on radios and stuff like that. Yeah. Now if you go by when Superman came, I think when Batman animated series kind of changed because it was Superman and Batman were. Yeah, I think they modernized it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, because with Justice League, because like when Justice League still happened, it was more modern. But yeah, Batman animated series, yeah, that took place at that time. Yeah, it took place there because the guy was listening to the radio and stuff like that, and people
that
had
makes
those
sense
old
now
Tommy
that
guns.
that you say it, and exactly. I'd never thought about that. Yeah, why are they using Tommy guns if it's the 90s, if it's not, you know, supposed to be,
you
know, a period piece?
So, they did use a period piece, and it's like a comic booky world, like, because I was just joking with you how, like, Commissioner Gordon's black in this new one, and I'm like, hey, in the 50s, there would no be no black commissioner of anywhere, like, in the city. The city where it's like that wouldn't even make sense for a black guy
one
to
of the biggest cities in the country,
move up that fast or something like that. Like these Irish cops going to be taking orders from a black guy. It's like, are you kidding me? But it was I think that's but the X-Men, back to X-Men though. X-Men, even though I think the early one was still adult, but like they really go a little further in this one with things.
And admittedly, like Batman, they throw a substantial amount of cursing, I would say, for a cartoon show in there, just kind of like to drive the point home almost. Whereas like they didn't do that with X-Men at all. No,
they didn't. And thing is, and I think it was like a mixture of what the X-Men, like I think why it's they're a little more mature, but they didn't go full mature. But they went, but you could tell it was like this wouldn't have been on Fox Kids back in the day. But because the people who watch this, we're older.
Yes,
we're all in
exactly.
We're in our 30s. We're in our mid 30s to mid 40s or even late 40s. All depends like what age you were watching that show. Because like I said, that show, I think people like even probably in high school and stuff, because we were in elementary school when it came out. Yeah. But it wasn't, even though it was on Fox Kids, it had the vibe of a show that older kids could watch this, you know, because it was based off. I mean, it felt more like the comic book than probably any show at that time. So like even Spider-Man, I think even more so than probably a little bit than even Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's probably the next closest. Like I said, Batman. Because I never read Batman comics around that time, and I'm most likely, because like I said, since I was a period piece, maybe it's closer to the old comics, I guess. But I can't really compare it to that. But still, it was a more like I had a more not a kiddie feel to it. Right. Like it was a great time. I think that was the height. I mean, that was the height of just television. Like anime television to me. Period. Like that time, and it may be like biased because I was around that time. But this hearing what people compare it to now, like what the shows are now. I mean, quality wise. I mean, even like the Disney shows that were for kids, like DuckTales and them and stuff like that. There's nothing that compares. It's rare to find shows compared to that. Like the shows that are compared to that, I'll say that are really good. I forgot what it's called. It's not on anymore. It was on Disney. It is on Disney Plus. You can watch it. I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of it. But it's like a few good shows that are good like that.
You're not thinking of like Gravity Falls or something, right?
Yeah, Gravity Falls. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, Gravity Falls. Like Gravity Falls. I do like regular show. Like it's a different vibe though. But still. Definitely. But thing is, they actually cater to people from the 90s because it actually does things that they show things of people from the age because that's the age the guys who made the show. Even regular show, Adventure Time and things of that nature. They have those things, and I mean, some people will argue like SpongeBob too. Even though I'm not a SpongeBob guy, but people do like SpongeBob. But it's not. But overall, the cartoon quality though, man, it's not up to snuff. So I'm glad that they seem to have these shows to come about. Even though they're only a few episodes compared to back in the day when you used to have 20 episodes or more in a season, because Chuck's Batman was an everyday show.
Yeah.
And so they had a ton. I mean, overall, like if you count how many episodes, it's almost like it's only been on for like 4 seasons. But you got to think it come on 5 days a week, so you just watch repeats a lot. But hey, it was good. I didn't mind it. But X-Men, they really do a good job of containing that story. With Xavier, dying, quote unquote, and building up Magneto, and this is all stuff from the comics too. This is not just stuff they just make up here. Though I think Sunspot's probably like one of the newer characters of the X-Men. He's a real guy in the comic book, but I don't know how old he is, honestly. I'm glad that they add. I think they didn't need to, but that was good of them to add someone like of a newer variety, someone that's not really a regular, because,
and someone that's more in line with Jubilee, like age wise too.
Exactly.
For her, for her.
Yeah, because all the other guys are older. Even though I want them to telling me what happened in the fucking Iceman. Because they show his picture as one of the original X-Men, which he was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the original X-Men. Him and Angel were part of the original X-Men. Though I don't think Angel was in that picture though in the cartoon.
I don't remember.
But I don't remember. But I remember seeing Iceman, and I just want to know what the fuck happened to Iceman? It's like, where's he at? But I think he was in the old cartoon. I want to say I just can't remember.
Sure he was in the old cartoon.
I think he was in one of them, and I just don't. I don't know why he left. It was a reason why. These stories were done really well, man, and also showing the ending, how it ended, and what this looked like is going to happen in the next series. That possibly spoiler alert, Apocalypse could be back here, man, and then the whole past future thing. That should be interesting. Also, I didn't even know they were doing a Spider-Man cartoon that's supposed to be kind of like his early years or something. I don't know when that come out. Does that come out this year or next year?
I don't think I've seen anything official about when, but I don't think it's going to make it out this year.
This year, okay. But I mean, I'm kind of happy because I do want to see some more animated stuff from Marvel.
Yeah,
that's not too silly. It's for kids. It's for kids. It's fine. Like Ultimate Spider-Man, the Avengers, and the Hulk Smash that came out on Disney XD and stuff. It's on Disney Plus now. You can watch it again. They're really kiddie-ish. They're not like what we watch. And I mean, and like I said, for kids, it's fine. But it's almost like they were at a point where hey, we're going to keep it really young. It's not something where it's hey, the shows I watched, I was only in my 7 or 8 years old, but they were well written and stuff. I was like, you can't just continue to keep doing that, you know? Yeah. Especially that they did that Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes before that. That's what made me mad, because that series stopped, and then they went to Avengers, this new one, and I was like, okay. I was like, that's damn, y'all kind of regress on the storytelling here. Yeah. But I guess, hey, maybe it's cheaper, so whatever. She saved money. But I'm curious. The Spider-Man one, I'm definitely curious about it, and I have a little high hopes for it, just because of what they done with X-Men. Yeah. That being said, what do you think about Robert Downey Jr. being Doom last fall?
I have complicated feelings about it. I mean, as far as like if you put a Doom mask on him and he's just another actor whose face I don't necessarily need to see, it works because he's a good actor and I think he could play a good Doom as so like in a vacuum that's perfectly fine, right? But in the context of him previously being Iron Man, and I like when they first, and I'd say they first announced it, like it wasn't just last week, but when they announced it, the way that they did, because the Russo brothers are also back for these next two Avengers movies, which
and he said
perfectly
that he
fine
wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it unless
it was them, yeah. And I'm perfectly fine with that. They've proven to be very good directors, and you know, I don't. Their hiring doesn't feel like as much of a casting stunt as the Robert Downey Jr. thing does.
It's different. It's different. It's kind of different with, like, yeah.
But with him, as I was trying to get to originally, basically the way that they said it, like, oh, anything can happen in the multiverse, it originally made me think that they were going to make Doom some kind of like variant of Tony Stark. And I don't want that at all. Like, it just doesn't make any sort of sense to me. But if they just have him, you know, very early on be Robert Downey Jr. and then have him scarred in some way, and then I never see his face ever again, then I think it could probably work, even though it does feel kind of like stunt almost like this worked in the past. We need to go back because things obviously aren't working for us right now. But I think that's just like, it's one of those things where, especially with them doing Secret Wars and all the talk of like Iron Man potentially coming back for that, because you have any, you know, number of multiversal Iron Men that could come back, or Tony Starks that could come back. It just feels a little weird. And then obviously with the context of like knowing that this movie was originally going to be a Kang focused movie,
and that's what, that's what I
feels like just a like quick overreaction to, I can't say overreaction because obviously like they have numbers that I don't, and things are probably not going well for them right now as far as the Marvel universe goes. But it's just...
But making him Doom, I just feel like it's just that they... Like, he doesn't need to be Doom.
No, he
like,
doesn't.
I feel like...
He 100% doesn't. And that's one of the things that I used to appreciate about the Marvel universe was... Or the Marvel movies, rather, before it was a universe, was that they would choose people that were maybe not the biggest name in the world.
Yeah, because he wasn't. He like, Robert Downey Jr. was known. He was known, like, mostly for bad, really.
Right. Yes.
And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I knew he did something bad. I never knew what he did.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm still honestly not sure. It was drug related, right?
Yeah.
Like, basically.
I was like, I seen him, and that's like, oh, he did something bad. But I just kind of think it was like one of those Hollywood bad things. Like, oh, whatever. What did he just did he still close, like, whatchamacallit did?
Winona Ryder, yeah.
Winona Ryder, yeah. I was like, what did he do? Or did he do drugs? He did drugs? Like,
I think that's what it was drug related. Because there was also recently that quote that came out from Jonathan Majors about, you know, somebody asked him on the street how he felt about the Robert Downey Jr. thing. And he basically said, like, you know, Robert Downey Jr. and Ezra Miller basically have gotten patience that, you know, he was not afforded. And like, I don't feel like that's with Ezra Miller. I do feel like that's fair. And I think we all said like the Ezra Miller Flash thing, like, should not have happened, basically, you know, after he assaulted people in Hawaii.
That's kind
so
of
like
crazy.
That is a comparable thing, but like for him to compare himself to Robert Downey Jr., who seemingly his crimes basically only affected himself, and it had been several years since, you know, he had really had anything going on. I feel like that's more of a redemption thing that you could even see something related to that with Jonathan Majors eventually.
Yeah, with Jonathan Majors, I mean, look, I feel bad. I mean, what happened? But I don't know if he's guilty or not. So I mean, that situation sucks. Now with the whole Kane, the thing I'm mad about is that like they have to abandon Kane. I was like, come on, man. Like, first of all, I was mad about the Black Panther thing. Like, you feel like, oh, because a guy died, like you couldn't replace Black Panther. That he had to go away. I mean, not saying that the woman one shouldn't happen, but I feel like, he didn't have to die in the movie either. Right. You know what I mean? But this is like, come on, man. Kane barely is established. Like, you could have just found somebody else to be Kane. Like, you couldn't find
sorry,
that's the kind of pisses me off. That's what kind of pisses me off. It's like you're making this character, like you're making him literally the character. I don't like that. I like he. I mean, it's nothing against Major. I'm just saying that you could have got somebody else to play Kane. Like you didn't have to destroy the story. And now maybe the story wasn't that good anyway, so I wouldn't care. I don't know, but I just feel like it's a little weird.
I think the fact that they can pivot so easily and kind of be like, yeah, we wrapped that story up in Ant-Man. It speaks to the level of that story at this time, at least, you know.
Yeah, maybe it just sucked. I mean, maybe it is. I mean, maybe it actually was it's like, okay, it's good that they just abandoned this. Maybe it is. I just find it weird that even though they could have made it better. I mean, even if this sucked, I feel like, I mean, you don't got a movie out, so you can still fix it.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's not like you have to do that story. It's not like you have to do that story. So, I mean, if the story wasn't going away or you felt like it was any good, but I just felt like Kane, like you didn't have to, just because, I don't want that to be the excuse. The excuse is that because what Jonathan Majors went through, that's why we abandoned Kane. I don't want that to be, I want to be excuses that because, hey, story-wise, it was sucking. Because I feel like you can get another actor.
Yeah.
You could have got another actor. Oh, I didn't realize The Martian was in Multiverses either. The Martian, what's his name?
Yeah,
Marvin Martian.
Oh, Marvin the Martian's in there? I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I always liked Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, I used to like him in the basketball commercials with Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny.
I like the Duck Dodgers in the 21st and a half century.
Jordans, man. All right. So yeah. I mean, but the Avengers going through that. I mean, that seemed cool. Though I'm like I said, I'm just in emotions on those superhero stuff. Like, hey, whatever happens. I'll just go. I'll see it when it comes on Disney Plus. Yeah. Or I mean, if some way I mean, I'm not really going my way to see things in the movies, honestly. I'm not even asking anybody or anything. I just, like, if it happens, it happens. But it's nothing, I'm just not really into. It's got to be something special. Yeah. It's got to be something that's really special. Like, this Deadpool reign, maybe, I would say 10 years ago, a little less than 10 years ago, I would have definitely been, like, really wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Now I can wait.
I mean, especially since reviews have been they've been positive, but they haven't been as positive as like maybe Marvel would have wanted or needed to make it feel like, oh, okay, things are being fixed, basically, you know.
Oh, okay. I haven't really looked strongly at the reviews. I just know it made money. Yeah. They said they made money for a rated R movie, a lot of money. All right, so that's all I really watched. So I guess we get to what we've been playing.
Yeah.
So what you been playing, Daniel?
I played some Power Wash Simulator finally. I was just looking for something to just kind of load
cleaning
up. Yep. Just something to just kind of take some time, honestly. Like, I wasn't really feeling like I wanted to be invested in anything, as I didn't like jump on Elden Ring or anything like that. But I was like, I want to see what this is all about.
Those people you did the power watching for were not like that. Like you saying,
my lackadaisical attitude towards.
Oh no, yeah, they're paying you, Daniel.
NASA's going to be very upset because I did not finish cleaning that Mars rover, Dominic. I'll tell you that much. I did try like engaging with the DLC, but like even the free stuff, I couldn't figure out how to make it work through the streaming. And I don't know if maybe I just needed to close the game and open it back up or something like that. Because I wanted to try like the Midgard stuff, but I didn't let me. It just kept telling me to go back to the store. So I did the Mars rover thing, which is like a bonus mission. I ended up not really wanting to have done that because everything's red because you're on Mars, and then like the dirt just kind of blends in with the background a little too much.
Oh, that sucks then.
Yeah, and I ended up getting to like, I don't know, I think it was like 80 or 90 something percent. And even when I was clicking the button to like make the gunk show up, it wasn't showing anything. And then there was some hidden flap that I was supposed to find that I could never find. So I really just was like, I should have did like just a regular backyard or something so I could. I do want to go back to that. I think it's a fun kind of chill out thing, and I would definitely like to see what that Midgard stuff looks like and the Tomb Raider stuff. And obviously the Alice stuff looked cool too, but that you actually have to pay for, the Alice in Wonderland stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's neat. I didn't really feel like switching between the different nozzle heads or anything was really doing anything. And I didn't get to like, it wasn't difficult enough where I had to like apply a different sort of cleaner, because it seemed like there are mechanics in the game that are more complicated.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way either. Maybe some stages, maybe you do that.
Yeah, I'd imagine deeper into like the career mode or something like that, you would get to a point where you'd have to like use the glass cleaner on the glass. I don't know what the game is, because like
how can you lose or not do as well? Because it doesn't seem like a timer is on.
Well, I wasn't sure, because in the Mars one, it kept telling me that my O2 level was going down. So I didn't know if I was going to run out of time.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
When you're on Earth, Daniel. You don't have to worry about
that. But I never got to a point, even when I let my daughter play for a little bit, and I was just kind of like scoping things out to try and figure out where the stuff was. I never ran out of time. I optionally quit. So I don't know. I also wish there were like, I don't know, when I was cleaning the Mars rover, like they wanted me to clean these parts that were underneath of it, or like the back sides of the tire. And it's like, even with getting low on the ground because of the collision, I couldn't actually like crawl under the thing.
See,
so
that's
like,
where you need those certain nozzles.
Yeah. So I would switch to like the high power one. So like when I'm further away, it would clean it a little better. But
and I think there's certain nozzles like kind of like shapes that kind of get under things.
Gotcha.
That you can buy.
I need one that curves bullets, curves my water. Yeah, so it's a fun little game. I understand why it kind of went like viral, and there is some level of satisfaction there where it's like I'm spraying this very dirty thing, and this line that I cleaned is very clean now. But yeah, I really think I chose the wrong level with that Mars rover one.
Monk would love this game.
Yes, I don't know. He would probably have a panic attack instantly as soon as he saw the thing. He'd just be like, "I know, can't do this. Can't do this to myself." But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's kind of really all I was able to do this week. So, what have you been playing?
All right, so I've been playing a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition. Probably midway through that game, doing a lot of the side quests on the
it's got you locked in
different stages. And actually, like I didn't realize that like some stages are harder than others. Like they tell you, hey, you should be this level when you go there. Because I went to a place where I haven't gone to, but apparently, like I'm so high power level because I was like killing things. I wasn't seeing my level go up because I was much higher than the actual enemies there and stuff. And I was like, oh shucks. I said, oh, I should have went here early. Yeah, I'm still. I'm still having fun with it. Though, like it just this just got me hooked to a bad way though, almost like like I know it's not that great, but I just can't stop doing these side quests here and just trying to do everything. I'm actually like I think I'm actually on a stage where it's technically DLC because I was thinking like I didn't recognize it, and I was reading because I didn't know what was DLC and not, and I was like, oh, this place is actually DLC. That's why I never knew this treehouse place. It looked like the place of Ewoks or some shit. Because I was yeah, they had places that was up in trees and everything. Um, but also some of the characters I didn't really talk to a lot. I think, or if I did talk to him original playthrough, I just didn't remember it. But this character named Cole, who's supposed to be like a spirit. I mean, he looks human, but that's because he took the body or the form of a former mage, and but he's not human because he can sense how people feel and things of that nature. And talking to him was kind of cool because just hearing suspected things. And I don't think I talked to him really much at all. I think I just found him weird in the first time I seen him, and I was like, I don't really care about talking to him. And yeah, I talked to him more. I was like, okay, he's sort of interesting. But not, I mean, not, but like, so far, there's really been no really big side quests with them or anything. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, like I think the actual quests with some of these guys, they're not really that great. I feel like they could have been deeper, but they're all right. It's like this game. It just feel like it could have been more. It's just like man, it just didn't go that. They went kind of bare bones with some of these quests, like that. They could have been so much better than what it is. I was kind of thinking like, hey, maybe they were kind of. I wonder like the focus on the multiplayer and stuff like that. Does that affect this game in some way or something like that? With stuff like that. What else? Yeah, it's not really much more to talk about for that game. I did get Apollo Justice. I picked that up and on PC, and that game, which is the remake / remaster of the original Apollo Justice series that was on the DS, and also the two games that were on the 3DS, Ace Attorney games. So I just started from the beginning. Apollo Justice, of course, yeah, it looks better. Like the hand drawings look like they kind of redrew them to look a lot smoother. You know, not really all pixelated. You know, digital like look that it had before. Just like they did with the Ace Attorney game and the also the Ace Attorney Chronicle game. Also, they did with that. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to go fresh because even though I remember the game, some of the game somewhat. I haven't played it so long. So like playing through it, like because I was trying to figure out how to get past this one part, and I kind of figure out what I was supposed to present. I kind of had the idea, and that's sometimes I had a problem with the game is that I know what the problem is, but they're not letting me present it like I want it to, and then I see how I'm supposed to present it. It's like, oh, okay, I sort of get it, but sometimes it seemed like I don't know if I ever would have got it, like if I didn't ever look it up.
Yeah.
But like I knew what the problem was, like in one of the situations. But I just didn't know how to present the evidence in the way that they wanted me to do it. Because that's the thing. There's only one way to do it. So I had to go look it up. But yeah, I'm kind of trying to play it freehand before. Like if I get really stuck, then I'll look up what to do in the game. So just yeah, having fun with that game. I really enjoyed those games. I really like the treasure evidence. Some of the dialogue stuff be funny, even though I will say the Apollo Justice one, I kind of don't like what they did with Phoenix Wright. Like I don't mind them getting a new character, but like just kind of put Phoenix Wright like, oh, he's not being a lawyer anymore, and now he's just guy who's being a father figure to this girl. They just added this character in. I just feel like, yeah, I didn't feel like they added too many characters. Like I felt like they could have just focused on what the characters were. That's what's happy with the new games that came in on DS and then the 3DS because they went back to Phoenix Wright. I mean, they had those other characters too, but Phoenix Wright was back to what he was. And I think maybe they probably heard complaints from people too, saying like, "Yo, what are you doing? Why are you just as Powell character and this Trudy character and all like man these characters when you had a full slate of people already like and we like Phoenix Wright." So yeah, that's I don't like the direction they went. I didn't really like, but I mean it's all right with this game. But the Edgeworth game is really what I'm looking forward to because that was like different because it was more of a detective. I mean, he's a prosecutor and trying to find out the detective work. You don't really go into the courtroom, on that game. That's more of the detective guy and find the people to be charged, I guess, and whatever way they did it. In that one, it was done a different way. Which I appreciate. And I guess by then they'll make a new game because they'll be like, "Yep, we make no more." I hope that's the idea. That happens.
Nope, we'll dig out the Aces Investigations ones first, and then we'll make a new game, maybe.
All right. So we got the Kenitsugami game Path of the Goddess game. I played some more of that. This is definitely like a tower defense game. And it's really quick. It just kind of, but it puts pressure on you because it's time. It's like because it's time. Well, it's not really time, but it's just that you only have limited time to set up everything to get to your point until it gets nighttime, where you have to stop and you have to fight all those monsters and things of that nature. And then you have to set those people up to help defend the goddess. And yeah, I mean, the game's got me kind of I'm gonna say hooked, but I enjoyed the whole premise of it. Like, say, okay, defend this thing and everything, and then when you beat the area, you kind of can build the bases of the area, which helps give you items that you can use as you progress through the game and everything. So it has some of those qualities, and it definitely. I mean, I'm not explaining it. Like, if you play those Capcom games, Monster Hunter, and well, I'm actually probably mainly Monster Hunter. It's got some of those quirks or something where you could just pet the dog or stuff and do stuff that seems silly, is just, but it just has like that Japanese kind of feel to it or whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just gives me a vibe of like that, like, well, something that happens in Monster Hunter and things of that nature when, like, you got downtime and just doing some random stuff. It's an alright game. It's like the story, like, nobody talks in this game or anything, and I know the goddess is doing something good, and I guess there's an evil that has infected these villages, and you're just trying to cleanse them. I think that's the story. That's all I got from the story from there. So, but gameplay-wise, it's something unique and something different to play. I will say that. It's all right. It hasn't felt really difficult though yet. Like, I haven't got to, but I think it is. I think it's probably still in the early part. But no, really, the difficulty is in probably the challenges. Also, I mean, I think it probably will get harder as you go on, because I did read that. But there are challenges too, because they say like, hey, if you don't heal your people this match, you'll get like some kind of item, or hey, if you kill this many enemies during this match, you get items, something like that. Like this stage or something like that, because you can go back to the stages and redo them and replay them to do those challenges. So it's replayability with that. But yeah, I enjoyed the game so far. It did get good reviews, man. So out there, so that's good. Because people were a little afraid about how different it was. I mean, if you're not into that, because if you were thinking like a Devil May Cry-ish kind of thing or something, Onimusha kind of thing, you will be disappointed because it's definitely not that. But for what it is good. It is a good game. All right, so I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we're flashbacking to. We're going to August 20 years ago, because there was nothing really good 10 years ago. Well, like this, nothing really worth talking about, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a new month now. And now we're in August. We're going 2004. And this is the only game really to mention for this week. Doom 3 came out 20 years ago.
Big one.
It's been 20 years. This was huge. I think it's been probably more than a decade since the last Doom, or it has been a decade actually, maybe since Doom 2. Let me see. Doom 2 came out in 1994. So yeah. Okay. So 10 years.
Yep.
So it's been 10 years since a full new Doom has come out.
That's wild.
And this one was this was huge, man. I mean, talking about Doom was really what people consider the grandfather at the time, the first person shooters, stuff that. I mean, it was the biggest one.
Big for
it
PC
was
gaming, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, some people you could have Wolfenstein and things of that nature, but it seemed like Doom was the one that it felt like a catapult.
Yeah,
caught it up there.
Wolfenstein is for old heads, Dominic.
Yeah,
and that's coming from what most people would consider an old head now, I guess.
Yeah, and now this was a different vibe, man. I mean, first when seeing the game. Graphically, it was amazing at the time. Graphically, it was oh my god, it looks so good. The lighting, that was the big thing. The lighting, lighting in games was very new around that time. So seeing a game like this where you had a flashlight and you see the actual you see the monster in the corner and you see the light flash on them and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Didn't know that you need to hold the flashlight and you couldn't hold the flashlight and shoot at the same time.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad. They did change it. The duct tape
mod came along very quickly. That was one of my first big introductions to modding games. And
and now that's if you get the remakes, that's automatically there.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make sense. It was they try to make it you holding the flashlight, so it's oh, you can't shoot your gun. Your Gatling gun, something like that, whatever, and hold a flashlight. It no. Yeah, if you only had a pistol, you could, but you wouldn't.
Yeah,
you wouldn't do that.
That wouldn't make sense to do that. Lights would just be attached to those guns.
Yeah, exactly. It's what are y'all doing here? It's I'm already scared half to death, and now I can't even fucking hold the flashlight and shoot at the same time. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's they tried to make the game more suspenseful by doing that, and really, I think it just hindered the gameplay that they had there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This wasn't Doom was kind of at the time was considered fast paced shooter. You just go you kind of go around, you shooting the enemies, and that's nature. In this nature, this is you go into each corridor and you're kind of avoiding. It's a lot of jump scares. It was more of a horror type of game, which I did not know it was, because that's why I got it on Xbox.
Yeah,
and here I was oh yeah, I'm about to play this new good looking Doom game because I ain't have a power enough PC to play it, and it looked really good on the Xbox.
Yeah,
for me anyway. And I was yeah, I'm gonna play it through, and I was so whoa, something scared, jumping scared me, and I'm just thinking it's just a little jump scare there. Then I realized, oh my god, this is what this game is. This is all just, and I never completed it. Never completed the game, and so I was damn. I said, this is not what I thought it was. I thought it was an action shooter. I thought this was the game, but it wasn't until another 10 or so years later, and when the new Doom has come out. What was that? 2016 Doom came out.
2016.
Yeah, so 2016 Doom came out. That's the game I thought this was.
Yeah, that was a much more appropriate, reimagining of that original game than Doom 3 really was.
Yeah, because I was I didn't want to survival horror. I was this is not what I wanted. Yeah, man, but it got good reviews though. It what was it for Metacritic? Doom 3. It got well, 9 out of 10 on Steam, but I don't count Steam was even around.
I would think it was probably high 70s, mid 80s, probably. Because I don't remember it being high scores, because I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed by what it ended up being. But there were definitely a lot of like Doom versus Half-Life 2 fanboys, around that time.
Because I'm seeing Doom BFG, and I don't want that one.
Yeah.
I want just the original Doom 87, I believe. I think I see here. 87 on PC. So yeah, because I think I forgot what Game Informer gave it, because that's what I really saw. I think they gave it.
Let's check the website and find out. Oh,
yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, GameSpot gave it a 90. GamePro gave it an 80. There was a Gaming Illustrated. They gave it an 88. I wonder, did they have a swimsuit edition too?
Always.
Gaming Illustrated. There's a game. There was some, I don't know, website maybe that was called Four Fat Chicks, and they gave it 100.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Out
of 700.
And then you have Thunderbolt.
You're gonna say Thunder Thighs.
Is that Thunderbolts? But they gave it 100 too. Times Online gave it 100. Is that the Times Magazine? The Detroit Free Press gave it 100. Warcry gave it 100.
That's a lot of 100s.
Yeah, that's quite a few 100s, man. So from places I've never even heard of in my life. Yeah, PC Gamer gave it a 94.
Oh, wow.
Doom 3 is a masterpiece of the art form, staying true to the frantic legacy of Doom series. And see, that's what I find funny. It says stay true. I guess the lore maybe
being all that frantic, honestly.
Yeah, I never thought of it like a scary thing when I played it.
Wasn't frantic enough.
Gamers Hell. There's a thing called Gamers Hell, and they gave 94. I mean, that's pretty biased. I mean, they're in hell, and they like those hell type of games. It probably was that site probably was created when the game came out. Yahoo gave it a 90. Oh, Yahoo, yeah. Game for did 90. Okay. They gave it a 9. Yeah, I knew it was a high score for Game Informer. Yeah, they gave it a 9. All right. So so Doom 3, man. This was huge, and then it going to be like another 12 years, and then we'll see another Doom.
Which is just so crazy, because you're thinking about how long it took between 2 and 3, but yeah, there was even longer between Doom 3 and 2016 Doom.
Yeah. Now, so that is it, man. Because there wasn't really much that came out this week for August and the past, nothing of significance. But we know every month we go through video game covers. And also, before we get into that, Game Informer, man, this is the sad news this week. Actually, when it came out, when did it come out? Friday?
That's when I just saw it. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, I want to say it was Friday, like sometime Friday, that Game Informer has shut their doors, man. They are officially closed. GameStop closed them down. They said we're done, man. And yeah, man, the website is just like their farewell.
They nuked it. Like there's no archive whatsoever. It's unexcusable as far as like. I mean, it's really sad that everybody lost their jobs, but to just lose that much history too, just feels like the biggest bummer of all,
Yeah, and I mean, it is just, I mean, this is basically all through most of my life, man.
Yeah, I mean you're a guy that still can pull a Game Informer out every once in a while and be like, I've got this issue right here.
Yeah. I mean, like all through high school, I had those magazines. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even before then, but that's when I was really reading them and not just looking at pictures. Because before that, I did have the first issue, the Sonic one, because I don't know what it was. I don't think it was me. I think it had to be my brother. It had to be my dad was buying a game for my brother and got that from the, I don't know at the time, what was it, FuncoLand,
Land,
maybe,
probably, yeah.
like had that the Sonic one in the front, and then we were getting the issues, because I remember it was getting, I was looking at him. My brother wasn't really looking at him, but I was looking at him when they came in, just looking at the pictures and looking at the games I wanted for my Sega Genesis and stuff. But yeah, I mean that magazine has been around forever. I mean, it's been around forever, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
think it's,
just remember
33 years. Like, yeah, that's it's a majority of both of our lives.
Yeah, exactly. And man, for it, like me, yeah. I mean, people say it's surprising that it lasts this long. I mean, well, which it kind of is, because yeah, people say the same printers did, but then because they were even late to the game online,
Yeah.
honestly. Because I was always wondering, because I was looking at these sites and stuff when the internet, I find, like, was looking at sites and stuff. Like, Game Informer was pretty bare. It didn't really do much because it was still doing print, and print was still pretty big even in the early 2000s. They didn't really start really getting really big on their online till later than some of these other sites. And then they had a podcast, and I was like, oh, let me just say finally. So finally, these guys, I can finally hear their voices. I never heard these guys. I always just read their articles. And then, yeah, just listen to the early podcasts and stuff of those guys how I used to listen to. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And hear their perspective on things of that nature. And like them, and I was like, and then how I was seeing all these other magazines, going away, like shutting down, like EGM, PlayStation Magazine, and that GamePro,
Nintendo
like them
Power.
just going, eventually Nintendo Power, they were going away while Game Informer was still around. Because they were doing digital, so it's like, okay, and then they're plus they were a part of GameStop, so that really helped them stay on board, and they were still getting exclusive content also of, like, I see with the covers, like, hey, we got this exclusive stuff on a specific game. I remember, like, they had Portal, they had they didn't mean they had, I remember they had the God of War 2 and stuff. I remember that cover. I remember Mass Effect 3 and things of that nature. I remember yeah, like, they would still have that, like, they'll be like, oh, it's a digital issue of this version, but you can get the print version. And yeah, I forget what my last issue was of the magazine, but yeah, I had stopped because I wasn't going to GameStop anymore, because I was like, man, I'm just basically buying games digital anyway. And thing is, I was like, I'm just reading their website anyway. Like I said, I ain't gonna get the magazine, but I just look at their website. And I always use the website for, like, the gaming content, because it was always the cleanest website
Right.
out of all the other ones, because the ad blocker would just easily block the ads and make it look a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Than what it is. So,
God damn,
yeah,
Dominic, you're the reason why.
yeah, I'm the reason why they're gone. But yeah, that's really what it is. But then, as time went on, it became even better, because they had some layoffs happen.
Yeah,
They even see, like, content wise,
wipe themselves
it
out.
was less and less as time went on. Well, I was like, man, they're just holding on, man. But just like what has been happening for the last few years now, like, people are just shuttering their doors, without any notice,
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, we're closed, and, like, even the employees don't know, and they just be like, oh, I don't come to work today, or something like that. I don't know. But it's so weird. Like, I mean, like, how that happened. I saw, like, how did they choose that? Because they don't. Because it's not like those people like, what, let's just close this place now. like they don't, it's like they don't want to give people no type of time. It's like,
no
it's
notice
like
whatsoever.
it's better.
It sounded like they basically heard
that.
moments before the tweet came out and the website got switched over that, they had lost their jobs, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, like somebody said, they were working on a cover.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they were 70% through the magazine that they're in, with a really awesome, exclusive game on the cover, and now that work doesn't get to be seen. Yeah, it's just such an institution, and one of the few that, like you said, has outlived the many that at this point we've seen come and go. And to me, just the fact that GameStop would let this brand die and not have any sort of archive because they took down the website, like, that seems unimaginable to me. I mean, this is a brand that should have outlived GameStop, because GameStop, we all know, is in trouble. But I don't know if they could have divorced themselves from GameStop, or if GameStop would have been willing to sell off to somebody. But it's just so kind of unimaginable that we're now at this point where, like, there's none of those left. Like, the biggest website for video game news I can think of now is like Polygon, and they obviously do.
It's IGN.
Well, yeah, it's IGN. I always forget about IGN, honestly, because there's also GameStop,
and they bought up everybody.
Yeah,
they just bought up everybody.
I always forget those two because it's been a very long time since I go to those two. I mean, they both have formats that I don't necessarily like.
Oh yeah,
to navigate. It feels a little more difficult. That's like why you said it. Why I like going to Game Informer even after they kind of slowed down with a lot of their daily news stuff, because they had let so many people go. And obviously, if you have gone to that website recently, you had seen the kind of real strong push to get people to sign up for that magazine. I was actually almost tempted to sign up just to be like, it'll be kind of cool to get a thing in the mail every once in a while that's not just junk mail. And, I don't know. But I didn't, which is good, because otherwise I'd have to email them to ask for a refund, apparently, because they aren't even like just issuing refunds. You actually have to ask for it, which is also kind of ridiculous. But when you let everybody go, I guess there's not really too many people to issue refunds. Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, I really can't believe it was not something I was expecting to see when I went on Twitter yesterday. I actually got a notification right before I texted you, or I sent you that tweet, because like occasionally Twitter still sends me notifications about things that aren't just Elon Musk bigotry. And it was, I think, Kyle Hilliard's post basically saying, I've been laid off and Game Informer has been shut down. And then I started looking, and people were saying like the website's completely down and stuff like that. And I'm just like, how are we in such a place of like all of the information is available and you just absolutely wipe this brand off the map? Like it's so crazy to me. And it sounds like the MinMax guys, who a lot of them are former, Game Informer guys. It sounds like they are working on, with their Discord, some sort of archival process for that stuff. But I don't know how much access they'd have to, stuff necessarily. I just, yeah. Again, it should have been GameStop, Dominic. Like, we all know it's coming. Like, they shouldn't be dragging Game Informer down with them, despite the fact that obviously Game Informer as a print medium was maybe, a little long in the tooth at this point. But it's really sad.
Yeah, man. It's just like, if this pretty much put the either the, I'm gonna call it nail, I don't know, well, no, nail in the coffin, but this was like the icing on the cake of like how the gaming business, how gaming is just, it's different. It's so different now.
Yeah. Traditional games media is gone. It's all podcasts. It's all Patreons, and it's all, YouTube stuff now. Again, I guess not to take too much away from IGN and GameStop, or GameSpot. God, GameSpot. Obviously they're still two of the biggest websites out there, but even then, I feel like those IGN, I think IGN is on a different level. I think GameSpot has they've been bounced around, as kind of the parent company of Giant Bomb. I followed them a little more because I followed the Giant Bomb stuff, but it sounds like they have been, bounced around between these different companies now being owned by Fandom, and I have my doubts that they're honestly gonna, kind of be a juggernaut for much longer, if they even are considered that at this point, and
like,
that's sad.
And it's really like, well, like IGN and maybe GameSpot too, because they do have a show or something on there, but I haven't been up there enough. But see, IGN, I have looked some, especially when it's like around the Summer Game Fest stuff. I really saw some stuff on it, and like it's entertainment. And I mean, I know gaming is entertainment, but it's like they have shows, like web video show, whatever you want to call it, television, because it's not television, but yeah, they got like actual shows and stuff where they just do things and content that's entertainment wise. It's almost, it's like a media. It's not really, I wouldn't call journalism to say. I mean, even though there's an argument about journalism, but we kind of understand what it is, like what kind of game journalism is. But it's it's almost more entertainment wise. Like they talk about like, hey, check out this show, and it's not a show. I mean, it's production value and stuff there and things of that nature. But
absolutely,
it's just that it's almost like its own. It's like a channel, like So it's like it's different. Like it's just all this stuff is.
It's the MTV of video games at this point. And I mean, like modern MTV, where it's not necessarily focused on music anymore. It's, a place for popular content. And that's...
so it's for pop culture content,
it's not there, but it feels like it's definitely taken a backseat to whatever's going to make them the most money.
And it's just this whole media. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, hey, everything's changed. I mean, we just see like it with all types of media and everything. I mean, from movies to like television. I mean, now with streaming apps, things are just so different. I mean, it's just but like this is our hobby is gaming, and it's like it is just so way so different now. Yeah, man, it's like it's because that's just how social media opens up, man. It's for everybody. Like it's just the content is just it's just like out there, like everywhere. I mean, it's just like it's just not
at the same time. Like I mean, maybe I'm just becoming old, but like social media is like becoming less and less interesting right now. I mean, there's just, since the whole like Elon buying Twitter thing and changing it to X, it feels like there's kind of no home for that same sort of stuff. Obviously, we saw like Threads and Blue Sky, but I feel like none of them have picked up and ran with that.
And then Donald Trump's social media.
Yes, and Truth Social, of course, where you get all your direct truths from Donald Trump, I guess. But yeah, so like I feel like, and sure, there's like TikTok and there's Instagram, but those have always just felt like completely different things. So I don't know if it's just like me not using social media in the same way, but it almost feels like I could go away from these things, but at the same time,
it's Discord, right? Discord is the thing, right?
Yeah, I think that might actually be. I think that might actually be. But yeah, I mean, like honestly, I don't know it when I would have found out about Game Informer until I probably when I went up there to look for some news for this podcast and be like, what's going on here? Dominic, what's up with this? And I just, man, it sucks to feel like I'm kind of so out of the loop, but also feel like it's a struggle to engage with some of this stuff nowadays.
It really is, because I try to get into Discord.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried. It's just like I feel like thing is, yeah, I don't. I mean, I know of people, but I don't know anybody in my real life that knows anything about Discord. It's like you're the only other person I know who knows what Discord is.
Yeah.
And like nobody knows this, and then I can't even have somebody like, hey, yes, just help me, and then I can just kind of learn by just doing.
Yeah.
I'm just. Darn, I guess I must have changed my password, so I'm trying to sign in. See, now I'm too lazy to even try to even get in now. No, that's also whatever. What the hell? Why did I change my password? Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't change my password. And now, why does Discord let you do this? It got like, oh, fuck it, whatever. I'll do that later. Gotta
just old man shouting in cloud.
I gotta click, please click the entity similar to the following images. I was like, come
Jesus
the fuck
Christ,
on.
they got captures in there.
I was like, come on, Twitter doesn't even let me go through all this shit, man. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so let's get into it. The cover. So all these covers are good. You want to use?
Yeah, I felt like they were all pretty good.
Okay, so we're starting with 2014. We look at the Game Informer cover. 2014, and oh my goodness, this is the game I thought was going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
Battleborn. Oh my god, I thought this was going to be like, I was like, take that, Overwatch.
Dominic. Yep.
Huh?
Hobby grade.
Yeah, I thought it was going to. It's like, hey, take that, Overwatch, because this got single player in there, and like a co-op story too. Like you can play. That's not just versus.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Overwatch don't have this.
All the stuff that was supposed to be in Overwatch too.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was like by the guys who did freaking Borderlands. So
yeah.
I was like, come on, this. I said, yeah, who's gonna be big? And plus, I heard about this before Overwatch. I heard about Battleborn, then I heard about Overwatch, and then Overwatch just basically just took over like the media space because Blizzard, of course, and they did have interesting characters. They did. And I played this game, and overall, yes, I think Overwatch was the better game. As far as versus, was the better game. And like playing to this, it was more of a MOBA, like just in the third person view. Which is fine. If you like MOBAs. Now I haven't played, of course, enough of this game, and I'm curious about what can you do in this game now. Can you even play this game?
Jeez, I guess I wonder.
Like, I don't know if it was an always online game or what. I have no idea. But yeah, it's just amazing that this game it just died.
Very quickly.
Like it came out, and what came out first? I think because Overwatch had a beta that came out, and I know that was huge.
Did this come out like the week of like the beta? So they just like absolutely obliterated them or something like that?
It came out in May 3rd, 2016.
Okay, May 3rd, 2016.
Overwatch came
May
out
May 24th. So yeah, it Battleborn came out first, but I think it was like the same week that they were doing an open beta for
reading
Overwatch.
From Google. It says the same date.
What do you mean?
It says the same date.
Oh
May
yeah,
3rd.
I see initial release date May 3rd, but then I also see May 24th. Oh, that says Overwatch series. What does that mean? God, that would be even worse. Did it really come out on the same day?
I just can't believe it did that.
I don't know why it's saying that. Yeah, because on the Wikipedia it says May 24th. So I don't.
Yeah, I knew it was close. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what Steam says. Why would Steam be right? Steam wouldn't know. It didn't come out originally on Steam. Came out on Steam on August 10th, 2023. That's. Oh, also that's Overwatch 2. Get out of here. I forgot that they killed Overwatch 1 originally, so I guess there is only Overwatch 2 now, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what it was. Because I remember one of the things you were like, it comes out first too, haha. Because yeah, you were all in on Battleborn. Even though I think there was a lot of irony there. You'd have to tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it was tinged with irony.
It was such a irony.
You knew Overwatch was going to be the better game, the bigger game. You just want to be a contrarian.
I thought it was going to be a game that I thought the story stuff was going to at least keep it.
Yeah.
Like maybe Overwatch was the better. Yeah, Overwatch. I thought Overwatch would be huge, like on PC.
Yeah.
Really, like I thought it would be like really
Blizzard
big on PC.
Nerds are.
Yeah, and like it multiplayer stuff. But I thought like the Battleborn content would still be enough. Like it would be there. You know, kind of like Apex
Borderlands
Legends
was big. Like these guys had a reputation.
Yeah, and then like they went through all this shit, and they had a cover. You see the cover right there? They had a cover. They had a cover on the Game Informer.
This is what killed Game Informer, Dominic. Honestly, this is beginning of the end.
Damn, this game should not have came out at the same time as Overwatch. I mean, even if it came out afterwards, I mean, I think it would have been bad, and you couldn't like force something to come before. But damn. Oh well, that is new. Now they know, like, we'll just stick with Borderlands and just everything Borderlands.
Still haven't got my Border Worlds, Dominic. What's going on with that?
Yeah, Border Worlds, yeah. All right. So what we got here? We got Edge Magazine 2014.
Yeah.
And we got Bloodborne on the front. This is the creator of Dark Souls, released on PlayStation 4. This was huge exclusive of PlayStation to have a Dark Souls game that couldn't be played anywhere else.
Still can't.
Not even PC. Not even
very
PC.
Upset about that.
And to this day,
to this very day, where Kai Cenat is currently streaming Bloodborne, trying to bring recognition to its need for a remake or remaster. So, big deal.
So, yes, this is also an E3 special edition because E3 just happened and E3 was still a thing.
Yes.
Featuring Metal Gear Solid 5, Zelda, and Rainbow Six Siege.
Big names.
Oh, man. Rainbow Six Siege. And just to think how that game started and how it ended. Yep. I mean, you talk about started pretty bad and like bad reviews and everything, and then all of a sudden it's like one of the longest running games.
That could have been Battleborn if they just stuck with it, Dominic.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. They said, Ubisoft said we stick with our games no matter what.
And they do, to their credit. That's how they support million people studios.
Exactly. So, yes, you got 2015 preview, the biggest games coming to PS4 and Xbox One and Wii U. The Wii U is still a thing,
console.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Also, they got reviews for Ultra Street Fighter 4. Darn, Street Fighter 5 is not even out yet. Grid, Autosport, Blade Symphony, Sniper Elite 3, Murdered Soul Suspect, that's your game. And has Microsoft finally got it right with Xbox One? Have they finally got it right, Daniel?
Absolutely not.
All right, so that's it for 2014. So now we're going back 20 years, and we're going to look at Game Informer 2004. I had this magazine. It's the world exclusive of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and I was like, copycat Metal Gear. Here we go. There you go, Xbox. And your PC gamers is like, whatever. You get your copycat Metal Gear. That's it. That's why I said, like, you know what? This game can't be that good because they come out with like 3 of them, while Metal Gear only had maybe 2 in the span. And I was like, because we got quality. We put quality in our games, but y'all just shit them out. Sam is back with the vengeance, and it says classified information leaked. Xbox edition exposed. Nudity. Confidential screens uncovered. And read at your own risk.
Oh, no.
Yep. They had a lot of secrets in here. Also, God of War, man. Whoa, what is this game? Which turned out to be one of my favorite action games of all time. Page 56. Yeah, I didn't think nothing was going to be better than Devil May Cry 3. first Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube review of Spider-Man 2. Oh,
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
game.
Absolutely.
And darn, it's 20 years of 20 years ago Spider-Man 2 came out.
Yep.
I mean, the movie game, oh my god.
Yep.
I mean, that was amazing. That was an amazing time. Amazing time. Also, new details on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So now we're looking at the official PlayStation magazine. We got my man Ray Lewis from the Baltimore Ravens. And look, when Reebok was still a big company and they had jerseys for the NFL, and before Nike took over,
Yep.
and now
they
you
just
got
own everything.
see, that's the monopoly, Daniel. See the monopoly.
Yep.
Look at Nike. I mean, it's Nike and Adidas, really.
Who's Adidas
you
work
talk
with?
about-
I was just thinking about that. Do
I mean, they
it?
do colleges,
Oh,
of
okay.
course, but they do colleges. They got their shoe deals with people. I
Yeah.
don't know as far as
It's like NBA jerseys are still
A company.
Nike, right?
NBA. You know what? I don't know what the NBA. Yeah, NBA jerseys are Nike. Yeah, NBA jerseys Nike.
I feel like hockey jerseys are
baseball.
even Nike.
Baseball is Nike. And football is Nike. What is hockey?
Let's see.
Majestic. Sorry, Majestic. I mean, Majestic is pretty much downside. I mean that was
I'm
on.
get-
that's
that's
how
NFL.
I was happy. I was happy for Majestic with baseball. I was like, I don't know them from anything else. At least we
Yeah.
got some company that's different to do something. And then Nike said, "No, we want to own everything. What are you doing? Get out of here."
Fanatics is NHL.
Fanatics.
Yeah. They've replaced Adidas, ironically enough.
Yeah, and basically they're working with Nike with the
That's what I
baseball
thought.
jerseys.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, this is just whatever, man. I swear. Like, as time's gone on, man, we're not getting more. We're like, there's no going to be. I guess at this point, there's not going to be a new company for anything, right? Like,
Not
there's no,
one
there's
that's
gonna be
not
no new
partnering
company.
with somebody else. I'm sure.
Unless, I mean, not counting Chinese, whatever they're doing in China. but I'm just saying, as far as the U.S., there's going to be no more new companies. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to be something one of these companies do. You're either going to, we're either going to lose companies and be consolidated to something else, to another company.
So we consider like the last big American company Under Armour. I mean, at least in this kind of space, I guess.
Yeah. That's under, and,
Mr. Beast. His chocolate bars.
man, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything right now. So Ray Lewis is on the front for Madden NFL 2005. I did have that game. I don't remember none of the features like specifically for it, but the only reason I got it is because Ray Lewis is on the front. That's based on the reason.
Yeah.
I didn't play as much. I still play college more than I played the NFL game, honestly. So I played the NFL game for like a little bit, but then I went back to college. Look, this is what they say on their magazine, because they're not the most popular or most sold #1 PlayStation magazine, even though they're official.
Yeah.
But they are the only PlayStation 2 magazine with the playable demo DVD. So there you go.
It's because
That's
the
the
other
selling
ones
point
just
right
had
there.
playable demo CDs.
All right, we got Nintendo Power right here. We got Resident Evil 4, exclusive at the time for the GameCube. Man, I should have told people like myself that. So don't worry, Dominic. It's going to be on everything forever.
For the rest of time.
Yeah. And then they're going to have a new one in 20 years. Man, so yes, this was huge. I mean, this is like a brand new Resident Evil game, and like just the revamp of what the Resident Evil formula was. I mean, just everything just different and new, and
And what
like
action
one of the best
games would be eventually.
Yeah, and like game of the year for some people, man. This is how big that game was. Also, the dish on the DS, the new gaming handheld system. I mean, just like 2 screens. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so fucking weird.
And that's the original design, which looks even stranger than what released. It's so crazy.
And I mean, but now it's like I just totally understand it. Like, I did not understand it when I saw it. I said, what the fuck? You just have a map on the... I say, what? It's like, okay, that's nice that you can have the map for the... what you call it, but like, what else can you do? I mean, then they talk about, the other things, different things. You know, okay, it's a touch screen. It sounds nice. And
then 99% of the games just made it the map.
Also, you see Spider-Man in the corner here, I guess, for the Spider-Man 2 game.
Oh, yeah.
Also, E3 2004, they showed off Zelda, which will soon be the Wii Zelda, which also came on the GameCube. Twilight Princess. He's right-handed on the Wii, though.
Yes, he is.
That was the multiverse Zelda.
That's the Doctor Doom Zelda, yes.
Yeah. And Star Fox, which that looks like a... What Star Fox game is that? Is that the DS one?
I want to say that's like Assault or something like that, maybe. Or one of the DS thing. Because at first I saw it and I was
Kados.
Like... that which just came out again recently.
Yeah, wait a minute. What was this game about?
It's like a RPG, but I think it's card-based.
Yes. Oh my god. I didn't know what it was. I always seen it. I never really looked at it. And yeah, like you said, the HD remaster. Is out now?
I believe so. I think it came out either the beginning of this year or the end of last year.
Yeah. Well, just on the Steam thing, it says like June 17th. Yep, of this year.
Okay.
For Steam.
Oh, wow. It's okay. And it's more recent than I thought.
Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 remaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that is crazy. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know it was a huge thing or anything because I never really read much about it. I mean, I always seen the advertisement for it, but just never really paid attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah, for us, I mean, for GameCube people, it was a big deal because it was another RPG, and we as Nintendo fans were still kind of starving for RPGs after
because you didn't have Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
I had Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, we did at that point. Yeah, I think we did. We had Crystal Chronicles. So.
Yeah, I'll be pissed off too with Crystal Chronicles, fucking Crystal Chronicles. And then also, I'll be pissed off too because I remember at the same time that Kingdom Hearts 1 was coming out, I think a month before it was coming out, they were always advertising this Mickey Mouse game, and I used to always, because when I first saw it, I was just like, that's supposed to be preview for the Kingdom Hearts game. Then I saw it was like, it's a little kid's GameCube Mickey Mouse game. So, okay. And I said, yeah, y'all can have that. I got Mickey with a key sword and shit.
Keyblade, yeah.
Jumping around like Yoda. Yeah. All right, man. Now we go to the unofficial PlayStation magazine.
Where it's at.
The world's #1 PlayStation 2 magazine.
Yeah.
And we got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on the front. And we got a couple of people up here. Look like that could be the main character and his brother. What was his name? CJ?
Yeah.
CJ and Jamal.
Yeah. Was that it?
No.
I was gonna say, isn't that the puppet?
I was thinking about Seabear and Jamal, the cartoon character.
That's what it is, Seabear. Yeah.
With what's the guy who talked for Seabear? Is the old rapper. Oh, he got that gruff voice. He was in Ace Ventura.
Oh, it's gonna bother me if I don't look it up.
Oh my God, was he like a I keep wanting to say Ice Cube.
Tone Loc, that's what it is. Tone Loc.
Yeah. But yes.
They also called him Anthony because that was his name.
Yeah. Okay. So we got
Funky Cold Medina.
Maybe I just call him Seabear. Maybe that's what's going on.
Maybe that's what it was.
Mission descriptions, 20 exclusive screens, secret features, E3 special, Yeah, 230 games previewed in here. Darn. That's all PlayStation 2. Then they got Tekken 5 up here, man. We're on Tekken 8. There's only been 3 more Tekkens, Daniel. Only been 3 more Tekkens that came out.
It's funny because the guy on the Edge magazine we were trying to figure out is actually in that screenshot on the right side there.
Oh, okay.
That's Raven.
Oh, you sure enough is Blade. Blade's brother.
It is just Blade, yes.
Blade, yeah, it's what's his name? Edge. Oh yeah, yep. Name after the magazine. Play tested Metal Gear 3, Final Fantasy 12, Kingdom Hearts 2, Devil May Cry 3, God of War, Gran Turismo 4, and many more. God, all those games were on PlayStation 2.
Playing some good games.
Yo, I mean, that PlayStation 2, as I said, like that has to be, as far as quality of games, quality and quantity, like where it was just a system. It was the fucking system of that generation. I mean, just like if you put all the generations of like systems out there, this was the best one. Like this had everything.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to argue that.
They had everything, man.
I mean, I think the only thing that you could make the argument of coming like close would be like Xbox 360. I feel like.
Yeah, I think second to that. Even though I think some people are arguing the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument there.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, and you go back to like Super Nintendo, you could make that argument too.
It's just the only thing with PlayStation 1. I mean, even though PlayStation 2 also, it's like just the, like at the time, if you just go by at the time, it's just that those graphics just don't hold up because of the polygonalness. And like PlayStation, it's really hard that they don't hold up if you don't do something to them. And PlayStation 2, some games can hold up if you did something to them. Some games can't. It's kind of a mixed bag with that one. Yeah, man. It's just like nothing really like that quality, man. This quality of games just came out during that time. Like it was. That was basically all my childhood. Just that game.
Games were cheaper to make then, Dominic.
Yeah, I mean, I hate when people use the inflation thing now because I'm like, yo, money is not worth like it was then either, man.
Yeah,
it was like, dude, like especially like when they keep talking about like, oh, Nintendo system was like $600 or some or something. I don't forgot whatever they said what it is equivalent to now with inflation. And I was like, yeah, you say that based on inflation, yes, but I can tell you this. If the money's a lot better, because ain't no way in hell my parents was buying that shit for that much.
Wages have not increased in line with inflation. That's why.
Yeah, so. That's what I'm saying. It's like, there's no way my mom and dad were buying us like something that was like freaking not almost $1,000 for us just to play. And with games.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. It's like, yeah, it's not 1-to-1, man. You can't do that. You can't do it like that. And own a house and stuff like that. Come on, man. It's like you got people like you said. Somebody said it's like, man, my freaking parents. My mom was a part-time secretary. And my dad was a manager at a retail store. Ain't no way in fucking hell. and on a 3-bedroom home or 4-bedroom home or something. Ain't no way in hell you doing that today.
No. You couple that with the homes that they're building nowadays that are just like too big for most families anyway. Like it's just, it's bad times, Dominic.
All right. So now we're going back 30 years ago, Game Informer, 1994. And we got this game. I don't know what the fuck this is. Battletech, apparently.
Battletech, sorry.
Battletech.
It's such a bad cover.
Yeah. It's camouflage.
Yeah.
Like, I get
what they're going for, but it's very poorly done.
Yeah, because I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at here? And it's almost like one of the, if you know those special pictures where you kind of
see the magic eye picture.
Yeah.
It does
the magic eye. That's what it looks like. You guess you're supposed to be seeing, like, where's the robot? It's like this.
Well, you cross your eyes and then you see a boat, Dominic.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. This is like, what the F, man. Like they couldn't. It's like, come on, man. Don't do that. Just put the robot. Just put a robot Don't make it look like the goddamn canyon and shit. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then they got other one the same way too in the background. Come on, man. Yeah. Horrible cover. But BattleTech exclusive lowdown on this hot new cart. That's what they used to call games. People wanting these come carts.
Back when they existed physically.
Yeah. And Streets of Rage 3. Is it just another sequel? Yes it is. It's like I actually don't remember. I don't remember the differences, but which is probably good enough, even if it was. Special role play features inside.
No, role play.
I don't know what the hell that means.
You know what it means.
yeah. Plus the Incredible Hulk, F1 Rock 2. Okay. Is that some racing game?
Maybe.
Yeah, is that Stanford Racing something? OC? Racing Ocean City?
There you go. Oh, I know they did F1.
Breath of Fire. I know that RPG.
Oh, yeah.
And Combat Cars Ultimate Race Sweepstakes.
Ooh, we could win a combat car or something, probably.
Yeah. Super Metroid, Nintendo's 24 meg masterpiece. Wow, 24 megs. Yeah. This game is huge. This is the equivalent to the 2 CDs of Final Fantasy 7 remake game.
That's why the carts cost $10,000 on it, because this was the big
one. All right. So that's it for Game Informer. Now we're going for the last one, GamePro, which got Raiden on the front. The God of Thunder.
I feel like I'm misremembering, Dominic, but it feels like GamePro has had some level of Mortal Kombat on the cover for the last 6 months.
No, they have.
Okay.
I told you because I think I mentioned that to you because they have It's between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
they keep switching for the last month. Like they just said, like, yo, we're just gonna have these fighting games because people love them.
Doubling down.
And plus they come on the arcade all the time. Like I think this was at a point where either a new arcade came out or a game that was an arcade is on cartridge and is on the console.
That makes sense.
So this GamePro was it was the #1 video game magazine. This was the biggest one in the early 90s. Yeah. But then game like Funkoland / whatever became really big and started giving away those Game Informers and everybody started having them. So then they took over and they killed them. They killed GamePro. So Mortal Kombat 2, better and badder than ever. Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear. The Game Boy one was the best one, Dominic. I think. It actually had red blood in Game Boy. Like, it actually forced color. It forced color on the Game Boy.
It just cut you when you played it. Made me bleed my own blood.
What's this got here? Arcade Pro Strategy Guide for Street Fighter 2. Turbo, tournament winning combos and strategies.
Oh, there you go. For free, Dominic, for free. So you just go in there, rip that section out of the magazine and walk out.
Yeah. You got pro reviews of Daytona Arcade. And you got Streets of Rage 3, Double Dragon 5, World Heroes 2 Jet, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And you got previews of Urban Strike and Samurai Showdown for Super Nintendo. And look at this, the 32X is here, man. 32 bits. 32 bits, baby. You didn't think anything could be that big.
But it couldn't stand up to the 24 megs of Super Metroid.
They're still showing Jaguar, 3DO, CDI, Neo Geo, the Duo. They're just putting it up. I think
that's why they died, Dominic. This is like the equivalent of like when you just type everything in as tags in like search engine optimization.
they didn't change the top. They say we're just gonna keep these going. Yep. This is up here, even though then they got that thing coming out for them. Really. Yeah. So that's it for the flashback segment. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. So what we got there?
All right, Dominic. First up, we got Prison Architect 2 has been delayed indefinitely while the team reassesses the scope of the work that is needed to be done to complete it.
Oh, damn.
That sounds pretty rough. I mean, especially for
Yeah.
a game that I would have thought maybe they understood the scope of. Like that first game is not, I don't want to say isn't ambitious, but it's not a AAA title, you know?
I mean, I thought it was almost done or something, man. Honestly, I thought it was like coming out soon.
Yeah, it feels like timeline. It definitely should have been. I mean, that first game came out several years ago and was pretty successful. So I would have thought, you know, they would have been able to capitalize on that basically. But yeah, that's unfortunate to see. Hopefully they can reassess.
They can get, and then they can
Pretty
get the money
well
back
and
by
figure it out.
license it out to what's that movie called? The Alcatraz movie, done by the guy who did the Transformers with Sean Connery.
Oh, The Rock.
The Rock, yes, they
Yes.
should.
Okay, I mean,
license
yeah.
Prison Architect 2, The Rock edition.
And also get The Rock in it. They should. It's
Like
about
have,
time, Dominic. We should
what's the
revisit the
director
Rock
name?
franchise.
What's the
Michael
director
Bay.
name? Michael Bay, yeah, the Michael Bay, yeah. This is Architect 2, directed by Michael Bay. And
Michael Bay edition. Director's cut. Because that's what we do now. All right, Dominic, speaking of delaying things, Microsoft has delayed Avowed until February 18th, 2025. We had previously
No!
only gotten a 2024 date. They never gave a solid one. So this is kind of unsurprising, but at the same time, it's disappointing because yet again, here we are not getting one of the many games that Microsoft has
And the price
promised
will be
us.
raised.
And the price will be even more raised for Game Pass by then, yes.
The like Evolved, now they said that it's not because of like, oh, we got some iron out to do. It's because they said, I guess with the slate that's coming out this year, it's a little crowded. They don't want to get lost, and it's like, I guess I understand, but I don't care. I just want to play the game I want to play.
Exactly.
And y'all worry about that.
Yeah. Because I was looking at the list of games that they're like, you know, they posted a thing along the same time of like, this is what we've got. And I'm like, okay, Indiana Jones is the only thing on that list that I'm like, all right, man, this would maybe conflict with me wanting to play Avowed. All the rest of them are like Aura.
So well, for
and-
me, it might be the other way around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, honestly, because I like usually those RPGs more. Well, see, I mean, you selling games also, because I'm just thinking about Game Pass. It's like, I just want to play games. I want games to come out. And
Especially
I mean,
the games you've been
I'm-
promising will be coming out.
And I'm just
Meanwhile,
trying
you're
to think,
raising the prices.
what was the outlook? Like, what changed? What has changed to make it so that you do? I think it was one game they said it was pushed back and too closer. Somebody mentioned. I'm trying to think of what was that game that was pushed back and it was kind of close, but it was like a genre that's so different. But I mean, I understand, like, if it's your own company, you don't want to put a bunch of your games out, but I feel like
Sure.
I always felt like, can you push that game back some more then? Because I
Right.
want to play
Yeah,
Avowed.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because like just to list off the games, like they've got World of Warcraft, Age of Mythologies Retold, Aura, Diablo Vessel of Hatred, the expansion, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Flight Simulator, Indiana Jones, Shattered Space for the Starfield expansion, Towerborn, which I'm not even sure what Towerborn is, and then, you know, Avowed pushed into 2025 along with South of Midnight, Doom, The Dark Ages, and Fable.
And I'm trying to think of what's a third-party game that's coming out around there.
An Assassin's Creed, probably. Have we even heard? Oh yeah, what am I saying? Assassin's Creed, the Japan one.
Yeah, the one that needs to not come out because it's racist with not having an Asian man in there.
It's racist, but not in the way that you would think.
But yeah, the Flight Simulator.
Yeah, none of those games scream, oh no, I wouldn't play Avowed because, you know, I'm too busy playing this. I mean, maybe the Starfield, you know, I could see that being the thing that was maybe pushed out out later than they expected, and then thought they needed to fill that space. But I don't know. I don't know what that's going to do for that game.
Last year.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want a new game.
I don't know how many more people you're getting with that, you know? New people. I mean, it's nice that it's getting the time that it needs if it needs more time, but if it's strictly because, you know, you have allegedly too many games, then, you know, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not... I feel like you move those and let this go. Let that stay. Like, move.
I mean, that all, when you say that, yeah, it almost puts in my head, like, oh, you don't think this is a big holiday title then, which makes me kind of sad. Because I want this game to be good. Like, I know it's not going to be the biggest thing, but I want it to be a little more than basically the fantasy version of
You want it to be the
Outer
Kingdoms of
Worlds.
Alamar of its time.
Yes, I want it to be the Kingdoms of Amalur. Yes. Yeah. All right, Dominic. Next up in the news, we've got I think it was last week where we were talking about like where the Sonic and Mario at the Olympics games, and then I think shortly after that there was some news that came out that basically said that the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, had basically decided not to renew their partnership with Nintendo and Sega, and instead decided to go the route of like NFT and esports because they thought it would leave them with more money, basically like internal projects. It's like, that's, I mean, I was never a big fan of those games, but I could see those being big hits with families with younger children. And, you know, I could see my kid eventually liking those games.
I still don't get why. What does that have to do with their partnership with Sega and Nintendo?
Yeah. Yeah, because theoretically, they're licensing... Nintendo and Sega are licensing the IP from them, so they would be paying for them. It wouldn't necessarily be the IOC really putting out any money, I would imagine, but maybe I'm misunderstanding the relationship there.
Yeah, who's paying who then? Yeah, it's very... This is weird. It's like...
These companies literally gave them their biggest mascots, and they're like, no, we're going to stick with this red French hat or whatever.
No, because Mario and Sonic is making the Olympics look bad, because people are... now that people who play those games, they're expecting to see a hedgehog and some Italian man and plumber out there competing, and they don't see it. Instead,
all they got was Ubisoft mascots.
Or some donkey... Or some gorilla or something.
Did they have raving rabbits at the Olympic opening ceremony?
I didn't see all the opening ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently, they did something with religion. And
so you turned it off. Got it.
Yes. I
Protest
was like,
it's
like, I have no idea. I still don't even know what the story is behind that.
There's like a alleged like reenactment of the Last Supper or something, but with like cross dressers, or I don't know. It's French, Dominic. Like,
but see, that's the thing.
They were taking it too seriously.
I just associate French with drag queens and stuff. I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean Marie Antoinette, obviously.
I mean, I just think of fashion shows and stuff.
Yeah. People just, I don't know, didn't expect to be exactly what they should have expected it to be. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and just like about that girl or / woman who boxing or something.
Oh my god, those fucking idiots.
Because the way I thought she was trans, Daniel. So I was like,
that's what they wanted you
to
think. They still want you to think that, Dominic. Freaking Logan Paul.
I go and find out. I was like, oh, she is a woman. I was like, this had to try. I was like, so what are we arguing about again?
It's fucking disgusting, people.
I thought it was literally a man. It's like, oh no, she's a woman. It's just one of those things where people have that the high testosterone levels.
Genetics are weird, as it turns out.
And I'm like, I can see like say, well, okay, look, as much as I know about the Olympic Committee, if she was doing some drugs or something, she'll be out. So. Right. So I'm just saying, like, is she doing drugs? If they didn't find nothing, then there's nothing to argue about. All right, it's like, dude, that's not it. And I was like, she is a woman, so it's like, oh, so it's not a big deal. Then I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing here.
There's literally nothing. No, it's the dumbest. That's like that this week was definitely like, I need to go away from social media.
Yeah,
because you had people like Elon Musk, like Donald Trump, like Logan Paul, and then he goes, oopsie. Like that's his reply. He deleted his original tweet and he's like, oopsie, but also like basically doubles down on it. What? But also like, I don't want to see men fighting women or something like that. I'm like,
okay, but that's not the case to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to see, yeah, that's like saying, what the fuck?
From the guy that performs in WWE. Like, get out of here, man.
I don't want to see men fight women. I was like, good for you, man. That's like only weirdos do. Honestly, who wants to see a man fight a woman?
I would argue, who wants to see people fight at all, Dominic? Make love, not war.
I know, but I'm just saying, but hypothetically, because you saying I want to see a man fight a woman, I don't think anybody does, honestly. You want to see a man fight a woman. That's a bad thing. You don't want to see that. You obviously don't want to see that. But that's not what happened.
No, not at all. Yeah. So these people are just disgusting. Anyway, Dominic. All right. Last story I got here. Game Informer is now dead, and it seems like another entity of our somewhat youth, more teen years and later. Bungie might be on its way out with the way things are going under Sony, because not only did they let I think like 100 or so people go in October of 2023, they just laid off 220 more people, are attempting to move 155 more to other Sony studios, and 75 off to a new studio working on it sounds like a project that maybe started under Bungie, but cannot continue under Bungie. So they're down from like 1,000 something to 850 people. Now, obviously, that's still a gigantic studio, at least from the outside looking in. But also from the outside looking in, and I get it, games are hard to make and they take a lot of people, but like, are you seriously telling me they had 1,000 plus people working on Destiny 2 and Marathon? Like, how did they think that was going to be sustainable?
I don't know, man. It's man. It's freaking sad, man. That this happened. I mean, I don't know what was like the outlook of this. Like, what?
So that's the thing. I think this is another shoe dropping from the, hey, the pandemic's happening and everybody's playing video games, so we're going to hire up as much as we possibly can. And then, kind of failing to realize whatever they were trying to realize, which, again, time after time, to me, points directly at, upper management who makes the decisions to spool up like this. Like, and here we are instead with, those guys not really getting punished in any way, and people on the lower levels just trying to make a living and do their jobs, losing their jobs. In what feels like a market that becomes increasingly smaller and smaller every week, that we say that there are more layoffs. Like, what does the games industry look like after all of these layoffs? Like week after week, it's just getting smaller.
Find work. It's like I guess not in games anymore, right? Because
Right.
people are laid off, right? Because they're not hiring right now.
Yeah. It's so yeah, you're losing probably what is probably a good portion of quality employees who are who are helping to make these video games very good. Yeah, it's just so sad to see Bungie, the creators of Halo, who some would consider, I mean, even for people who don't necessarily like it, to be a flagship game for Xbox at a time when that console was young and needed games, and has been a flagship franchise for Microsoft for all of its existence up until this point. And obviously, that series has seen its turmoils, but now to see a studio that I feel like, I mean, even up until 2022 when Sony bought them, saw it as a big investment, and you saw Sony kind of pivot and say, okay, these guys are the ones that are going to lead our charge to make these live service games. And now, obviously, like 850 employees is not anything to sneeze at, but it definitely feels in a lot of ways that they're gutting this company in preparation for something. And I don't like what that outlook is necessarily. I could see Bungie, who was still being touted as working independently, I could see it getting folded into the Sony Entertainment of America or Sony whatever computer systems family, and kind of losing its identity.
I just want like 850. Like, good God, like what? That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
Like, and for a company that, I mean, like, I mean, yes, Destiny's a big game. I just want to know, like, what are these guys working on?
Right. Because they got Marathon, we know that, but like, yeah, that's why I don't get it. Like, why did they think that like 1,000 plus people was a good idea for a studio that is currently working on 2 games? Obviously, there are prototypes and stuff, I'm sure, that we don't know about that are constantly in development as well. But even if you say like 4 games, that still seems on the heavy side when you factor in who does what and where and how those timelines match up and all that fun stuff we always discuss when we talk about video games and the need for people at given times.
All right. I mean, yeah, man. Good luck to those guys. But it's just some more of how this industry, man, is just, man. This is it. Like this, I don't.
Coming off the heels of such positive news of Blizzard and Bethesda, unionizing, to then just kind of be slapped back into reality with this news was very disappointing.
Yeah.
So, told you, Dominic, they just bought this company to spite Microsoft. That's all it ever was. We said it at the time, and now we're justified.
Yeah, I mean,
just picked them up to kill them.
I wonder like what would have happened if they never picked them up, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they would have went down even faster. I mean, as I said earlier, a lot of these decisions are coming from upper management, and that's still the same people there. I can't help but wonder if maybe we see some kind of, I mean, especially with, I don't know how big the backlash is going to be on this.
So is that guy with the glasses still there?
Yes.
From Bungie? I don't know.
Let me see. Let me see what happens when I type in Bungie guy with glasses. I just want to see who it tells me. Luke Smith is a guy with glasses that comes up.
Because I've seen him in interviews and stuff all throughout Microsoft when they're doing Halo games.
Yeah.
and then he was still there when they left to do Destiny. I don't know. He wore glasses. He looked like a nerd.
The guy that I keep seeing who's at the top is
like
Pete
nerd.
Parsons, and I don't see him in glasses, so maybe not the guy who I was thinking of.
Nah, see, people are thinking of like people funny dude glasses. He just look like a nerd. I don't know what his name. I would have to look at the old making of Halo 2 thing I got with my collector's edition. I got when I got an Xbox.
Yeah, but people are not happy with Pete Parsons right now because he's been buying like millions of dollars worth of vintage cars. Meanwhile, people are losing their jobs. And
who was doing that?
Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie. He spent like $2.3 million on vintage cars. There's actually, I saw the link to it, the car auction website where you can just see what he's bid and won on, and some of his comments, which are just like the stupidest things. Maybe it's not a joke, maybe it's a thing that people say, but like he's commented on a couple of these things, like, I hope the airbags and the something else are good and the GPS are good on it. And it's like a vintage Jaguar that probably doesn't have either of those things. I'm like, does this guy just think he's funny, or am I not getting the joke myself? But yeah, so, I am of certain minds about these things. Like, obviously people can spend their money how they want. I'm honestly more concerned about how they got that money than how they then spend that money.
Yeah, exactly. Because that means even if they don't buy that, he still has it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're telling me that you would have rather had him, I don't know, pay employees out of his pocket or whatever, like, maybe, probably, it's whatever. But like, I'm not here to say like this man who's been working for, I would imagine, just as long as I have, probably longer, if he's made, his money over the years and he's saved it until this point, I'm not going to sit here and say he made all this off of this, although he probably made a big, a substantial amount of money from the Sony deal itself. But I do feel like there should be consequences for leadership when, the studio finds itself in a downturn. And that's not to say that you aren't also going to have to lay people off, but I don't know. Maybe you lay off half the number of people that you had to lay off and you take a pay cut. I don't know. When you have a board of directors over the CEO, you at least have, some group of people that have some level of control over that and can make decisions. And in this case, I would guess that, Sony can make some sort of decision as to how things should be handled at Bungie. But that's kind of my concern, right? Is like, because you have proven now that you cannot work independently as you were given the freedom to do. Now Sony's going to step in and maybe homogenize the studio a little more than they maybe once would have, so we shall see what this results in. But it's really just sad to see so many people lose their jobs.
Why did they do that?
Why?
The person's trying to be all sad. Like, the person put a meme up, like, being all shocked and stuff over what's happening at Bungie, but it's the fucking Sonic looking surprise one. It's just that it's like, what? It's too funny. It's like, no, man, you don't put something that's that funny out for it. You can put somebody like really sharp. I said it in direct message.
That's why people shouldn't use memes, Dominic. This is meme abuse.
Oh man, you see it?
Not yet. I'm pulling it up now.
I sent it from the
Jesus,
Super.
Yeah. No, I got it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's not an appropriate.
Yeah. not that one. That's like saying somebody like an ugly person naked or something like that.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like saying Donald Trump naked. Like saying Donald Trump.
Jesus,
Picture
that would
that.
definitely
Put that in
be an
your brain,
appropriate
Daniel.
face for that. Nope, don't.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't want to be on the Toadstool tour, Dominic. All right. So that is the news for the week, Dominic. Obviously, we had already mentioned the Game Informer story, which, is again just ridiculous and sad. And I really hope we find some way to archive that stuff. Dominic, those magazines that you have in your possession are as good as gold. Do not let them be destroyed or throw them out.
I wonder that too, man.
Until we make sure we get good, high quality scans of those.
And I am jonesing for
Jonesing for a fix. Is that what's going on here?
Jonesing for what the kids like to call heroin.
Oh no, that's kids. Kids got you on the Black Betty, huh? All right, Dominic. New releases. We got a couple this week. We got Valorant is now out on the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. So finally you can get your console Valorant in.
So now you got that. So now another game you can play instead of Concord for the PlayStation.
Yes, exactly. Oh, poor Concord.
Concord is a game you have to buy, right?
Yes, it is. I think it's $30. I think it's a discounted game, but it is a game that you have to pay money to get into. It's not a free to play.
It's just that it's
any amount of money is a barrier for that game.
Because if it's supposed to be, if it's similar to like what kind of game is it again?
It's like an Overwatch.
See, if it's even similar to Overwatch, that stuff is free now.
Yeah. And you got Marvel Rivals coming out soon, which not only is
these games that are definitely just copying
just Overwatch, but also it's tied to a license that people enjoy, and I think the representations of those characters in that game are well done. So yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle for that game. I can't help but wonder if some of what happened at Bungie just now is also Sony, like, you guys did this to us. This is your fault. Pointing fingers basically, like, all live service games. We would have never had this idea if it wasn't for you. All right, next up, Dominic. Star Wars Bounty Hunter is now on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. That is the Jango Fett game. What?
I heard the controls are pretty good. Now, the thing is, from what I remember, when this game came out, it wasn't a good game. So, what is it now? Because, is it because the controls are better now? Or is it a good game now? Or is it still a bad game? Just like, hey, it's good for today's controls. But
I
it's still a
think
bad
it's
game.
probably a pretty mediocre game that has decent controls now.
Yeah, because I remember the reviews for this game. It wasn't great, because that's why I didn't get it. Because I was excited for it, and then I remember reading about it and oh no, this ain't it. Like, I need to get Jedi Starfighter, and I never did end up getting it, but that was a good game at the time.
All right, next up, Dominic. Tomba Special Edition out now on the PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS5.
Is that the caveman?
Tomba guy? Yeah, with the pink hair.
Yeah. No, I never. I mean, I just looked at it from afar.
Saw the ad all the time.
Yes, but never was the guy. But Tomba is out. Is it just limited run kind of thing?
Let's see. Yeah, there is a physical copy.
But they're not out yet. It says pre-orders.
Yeah.
Close. Okay, so digital right now, and you can get. Oh, look at some of these things, man. This is. And look at that. You get the Tomba toy with the pig? Look, you can have it look like it's jumping on the pig, man.
There you go. That's
pretty
is he trying to eat
the pig?
Plush too. I mean, I would be if I were a kid.
Yeah. Oh, look, you got a big plushy one too.
Yeah.
It costs just as much as the game.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's been much done to the game necessarily.
Get a Tomba hat. You get a Tomba hat
I want
also.
the Tomba Neo S controller.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Get nice little green grippies. It's limited to 1,000 units too, Dominic. So.
I don't like that I don't see an Xbox version.
Nope, sorry, Dominic. Tomba is PlayStation branded all the way, and Switch got lucky to have it, basically. All right, and then we've got Aero the Acrobat. Speaking of going back in time, Dominic, that's now out on Nintendo Switch, PS4,
Oh my
PS5,
goodness, man! And,
Xbox One, Xbox Series.
Old
this is a game.
mascot game.
Yeah, this is a game that I think I picked up at a flea market one time and definitely had a lot of trouble with, like the 4th level or something like that. Never beat that game. This is a game that also should be on the Nintendo Switch online service and is not a game that I should be paying.
Yeah, it really should not be a game.
$10 to
it should be an
$20
online
for.
service.
Let's see how much this costs on the eShop.
Once $4.79. What the hell am I looking at here?
Why does Nintendo's site always take forever to load? Okay, yeah, I mean $4.79 for the eShop version.
Okay,
That's
all right.
not.
So it was. Yeah.
That's not too absurd. Is regular price of $6.
No. I mean, okay, look, like, yes, it's not an absurd price, but but you know, it's absurd enough because it's like this. Like, I'm looking at this game. What?
Oh yeah, they didn't add
have been on the
anything
service. You're just trying to get some money out of it.
Exactly.
Like, this looks like just an emulated version.
Is 100% just an emulated version.
Yeah, because
wait a second, Dominic. Wait a second. Cheat
some
functions activate several cheats that will make things easier. Got to give them credit for that.
Whatever, man.
Also,
because
how does Nintendo not have that stuff built in? That's disappointing. How do they?
Now we just gotta
not partner with Game Genie.
So when they're going to bring back Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel? When they going to bring him back?
You're asking real questions now.
I didn't even know about him till today because I'm looking up. He was under the Google search for Aero and yeah, this is on Genesis. This is called Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel,
and he is throwing a shuriken.
Yeah. I mean, it got a 71 on game rankings and stuff. Electronic Game gave it an 8.25 on the Genesis. I mean, hell, it's not a bad game. Gotta get on that.
Yeah, I'll work on getting the license, Dominic.
Man, Ariel, I remember seeing that. Yeah, I wonder why I never got it.
It's an Iguana entertainment joint, Dominic. So. What it is? Hold on. It is a spin-off / sequel of Aero the Acrobat series. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into this, Dominic.
Wait a minute. What?
The Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. Apparently, it's related
it
to
is a spin-off. Yeah. I mean, I know Sunsoft was. Yeah. These are the same developers.
Yeah.
I knew the company was. I didn't realize it was the same developer too. Oh, okay.
During the events of Aero the Acrobat 2, Zero receives a telegram from his girlfriend, Amy, telling him that an evil lumberjack named Jacques Leschitz is defrosting their homeland, Stony Forest, or deforesting.
Fuck the French.
Their homeland, Stony Forest, to produce counterfeit money, and has also captured her father. Ignoring Edgar Hector's protest, Zero decides
apparently
to put a
this
stop
game
to
is
Leschitz.
out on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and
Zero
PS4.
the Kamikaze Squirrel is?
That's what it says on Google.
Oh,
Let me go ahead and look this up.
Oh, look, you got limited run for them too. Can I get a controller with it? Nope. I can get a cartridge though. I can get a Super Nintendo cartridge.
When I go to the Wikipedia page though, they don't show that.
Oh, it's sold out though. Man.
But wait a minute. So was it? So it was on those systems though.
It's only showing an SNES and a Genesis cartridge. On
Yeah.
limited
So
run,
I think somebody needs to
Switch.
somebody needs to tell Google that they need to change that because they made me angry. now that I know it wasn't on there.
Oh, they will be available along with Arrow the Acrobat 2 on Switch on September 6th, 2024.
Oh, okay. So it's coming back. It's coming out.
coming.
Oh, okay.
Man, I never knew that existed.
So that was so I'm trying to think. What has it come back?
Croc. Have we gotten a Croc game?
What is that thing called? The Noid? The Noid
yes.
game?
Well, that's branded, Dominic. That's a it's a Domino's staple.
Spot for
Cool
7
Spot.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah. So
was there a moon for McDonald's? Did he have a game? that singing moon with glasses?
You know what? I feel like I have seen him in a game.
Or how about that Pepsi guy?
There was a Pepsi Man game. Do you remember Pepsi Man, Dominic?
Well, yeah, but that was but not that Pepsi Man.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the like he looked kind of like he was on a computer screen, but like a TV screen, kind of messed up, looking kind of Pepsi, dude. Pepsi. Old Pepsi commercial. Or maybe I'm just getting him confused with
With Cool Spot.
No, I'm getting him confused with Ray Charles or something.
Wait, are you talking about like the guy that wore sunglasses and was like,
Yeah.
Oh, Max
Yeah.
Headroom? Is that?
Yeah. Oh, that's his name?
Look him up and see if that's who you're thinking of.
Max. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I don't know if there's a video game related to him or not. That was a weird story. Oh, there's a computer game.
Oh, it says his last appearance was on Pixels. He was on a Pixels movie.
Oh, there you go. Then he must have a video game. That was so true to video game life.
I thought he was drinking Pepsi. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Pepsi. It was Coca-Cola.
Oh, man. Betrayal. All right. So let's see. Also, Dominic, last game I got here, World of Goo 2. That is out now on PC and Nintendo Switch.
World of Goo 2, man. They actually, the sequel, like, what, 10, how many years? 10 years?
Oh.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
Game I never touched. I might actually try it.
Yeah, I still don't totally know what World of Goo is. It looks kind of like a bridge construction game.
Like the PSP game, Papayo or something like that. Those games were fun, and it's just so sad that I sat on my goddamn PSP and I can never play it.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I remember, it was at Target, man. I had it in my back fucking pocket. I was using it as an MP3 player.
Yeah.
Like they told you to do. And
I was just doing what Sony told me to do.
Yeah, then I had it in my back pocket. I forgot, and I wasn't used to having things like that in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, and then I just sat down, like, shit. And then the screen was busted. It's like, oh, fuck, man.
Remember when we just didn't have things in our pockets, Dominic? Maybe a wallet.
Yeah, man, that's about it. And hell, I remember when not having a wallet. Because all I had no money.
Here's my student ID. What am I worried about?
My ID, I think you had it on like similar to what a keychain would be.
Yeah, lanyard, yeah.
Yeah, I just had it in my pocket and stuff, man. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I remember those days. I miss the days of not having IDs and
now I can't imagine
things.
going anywhere without having my phone in my pocket.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine either because I'm like, man, what am I supposed to do? Just look at people?
They get creeped out.
Yeah, I said, oh, that's what I used to do. I used to just stare at
We
people.
all used to have to do that so people didn't get as creeped out. But now it's like, why is this guy staring at me and not his phone?
Yeah, exactly. What's he doing? Let's see what's that man's doing while he's looking over here.
It used to
Like,
be mutually
I say,
assured
well,
creepiness.
I can look over there, but it's like, no, over there. I say, you look more interesting than me looking at that tree.
Yeah,
So,
and
there
you're
you
going to
go.
judge me if I'm just staring at a tree. So, like, what do you want from me? God, we're old enough now, Dominic, where we're just like, remember back in the old days.
Yeah.
Those were the good old times in the 90s, you know. Don't know how many people were saying that. All
Do they
right.
still have porn magazines behind counters anymore?
No, they just download them straight to the kids' phones. It's called grooming, Dominic.
Oh yeah, let me go to like a 7-Eleven or something. So like, hey, can I get a Hustler back there or something? So I just came out of time machine, man. I was supposed to know y'all ain't having yet.
Would like the latest publication from Larry Flint, please.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Dominic.
where's Mad Magazine? Is that still a thing?
We got Chuckles or whatever the other one was. What was that one?
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. All right, Dominic. Anything else for the people this week?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. Check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. Podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can find us there. Has all of our previous podcasts as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. Not Google Podcasts, damn it, Dominic. YouTube Music, iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, Spotify, all of the places that you have audio podcasts, you can find us there. Until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see ya.